And on today's show, how to partner with the right financial advisor. Part 5 of this week's series on financial planning for women with registered investment advisor and certified financial planner, Heather Coulter. Hi everyone, I'm Steve Savant, syndicated financial columnist and contributing author to Innsmark, Life Specs, and Backroom Technician. Let's get down to business. Well, welcome to the show,
Thank
Heather.
you.
Day 5. Wow, 5 days. Wow. Well, we're trying to help women pick financial advisors, and without doing too much of a commercial for your own firm, right?
Right.
We're trying to give them at least an idea what to look at. Now, there's several different, people see letters behind people's names, and they go, what does that mean?
Alphabet soup.
Yours is, sometimes you'll, instead of saying registered investment advisor, you'll put RIA. You'll use CFP, certified financial planner.
Correct.
There could be a CPA in our life, because you may be the quarterback of the financial concern, but you may also be partnering as an advisor with a CPA.
Absolutely, we do it all the time. Yeah.
Wow, and then we're talking about charter financial analyst. Now, this is what our asset allocation guys that are into the market, money management, right? And sometimes we'll even look for a guy, a CLU, a charter life underwriter, who's an actual life insurance and disability LTC professional who deals in morbidity and mortality products. So when we're sharing this with women, we're saying these are just some of the areas. It's not a full idea here. It's not a full potpourri, but it's a basic idea. People sometimes will go out to the internet. They're going to vet people because there's a lot of people out there with LinkedIn accounts talking about their full bio and their resume. And I want to look at that. And of course, I'm doing broker check to see if they've had any bad boy issues. I'm looking to the insurance commissioner, see if they're on the bad boy list. So once I get past that, though, what am I doing? I've got past that. I got credentials. I don't have any bad negative press online on the internet. I've looked at the broker check and everything else. I'm done.
Right.
So now what am I really looking for here so I can bring a trusted relationship into my family?
Sure. Well, you definitely want to interview them. So you want to make sure and ask them how they're compensated. How do they charge?
Face to face.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Because you want to make sure sometimes you want to go in and just kind of get the feel of the office. I mean, is it really kind of cold, and are they kind of the upper class? Are you an ideal client for them? Are you comfortable with them? All of these different alphabet soup professionals that you mentioned here, you definitely have, women need to trust all of them. They need to be able to work with them.
So you said, like, the first thing, compensation. So are you fee-based only? Are you...
Commissions.
You work on commissions,
right?
Okay, and then experience. When I'm looking, we're trying to help women come into planning. Do you have any kind of, maybe I would call it, minimum requirements when you talk about experience? What would you feel comfortable? It would be
maybe more experience or more of their niche. You know, I mean, everyone has their unique situation. So if you're more into charitable planning, maybe you want somebody that has experience and background with that. If you have a very complicated tax situation where you have a CPA on your side, but the CFP might be more of a tax planner, look forward for you. So these are the type of experience I would think that you would look for.
When I'm talking about process, everybody seems to have their own process, procedures, protocols.
Of course.
I'm always looking for something that works for the client, so the client understands it. I understand it. I already know that. I live this. This is the world I live in.
Right.
But sometimes my process may be too sophisticated, and I need to use a more simpler approach, or the opposite. I can't go in with a simple approach. I have a very complex client here, and I need to change that. When you're looking at processing, you chose processes that work for you. Mind mapping is one of the big ones.
Mind mapping
We're going to look at that in this.
We're
going to look at that in the second segment.
But you need to be able to understand and explain that to them, though. Explain what your process is. Show them so they understand, if they decide to hire you, what to expect.
Well, we're going to test your theory on that on the second. We're going to do that in the second segment.
Good.
And we'll test your very theory on that. You're looking for ideal clients too.
Sure,
You're looking for the fit. And so do you have a kind of a regiment that you go through that says, this pre-qualifies me to work with this, but this is a person I do want to work with?
Yeah, for just an example, we're very a visual firm, so we're very technology based and we're paperless. So some of the older generation or clients might not be comfortable with the type of software we're using or our process. They're not comfortable with that. So that would be an example. Now,
and when they say, will they help you implement? You know, I have clients that say, I'm going to give you but then they don't do it.
Right. And
so you're wondering, well, am I you're really your advisor or not?
Right.
Are you really my client or not? And how do I know? Because you are implementing or you're not implementing.
Right. So you need to know yourself very well there. And we've been talking a lot about financial personalities and awareness and independence. You need to come in and understand, do you need more details to get things done? Do you need someone to kind of push you and make you do these things? So that's what I meant by that.
Yeah, I think a lot of advisors would say universally yes.
Yes, right.
Do you have to give them assets to give advice? I mean, a lot of people are saying there, well, I'm going to give you advice. I can do it on a fee-based hourly charge, And we're not even talking assets under management
Yeah,
yet.
there's different kinds of firms out there, right?
Privacy, that's a big issue with a lot of clients.
Oh, of course.
I think the person who has the ability to convey privacy at this level of finance, I think is really a major value. I mean, LifeLock commercials are everywhere talking about privacy. How about disciplinary action? I mean, of course, I don't want to hire anybody that's had some bad boys who's been slapped on the hand a couple times and fined.
Yeah.
But I'm looking for that.
Of course, you always want to ask about that or check into that by reading their Form ADV. It's got to be there for the SEC that's filed.
Personality match. Now here's a, I mean, I always thought, well, hey, this person's analytic. I'm much more a global view. Isn't that a match? Maybe not. I don't know. Personality matches. When you're matching up to a client for the first time, are you saying, I think we'd be a good match? Or you're saying, oh, I don't see this.
Oh, sure, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, there's times where maybe I talk too fast, or there's a different age gap there, or they're looking for something that I just know that I can assist them with. There's a huge personality. That's very important to work with an advisor. Now,
you belong to a fee-only organization, right? National organization that does only fee planning.
Correct.
When people see that, there could be a value just in that issue alone, right? Where they would say, hey, I'm looking to, that's where I'm looking, and I'm only going to be looking there because they like that compensation model.
Sure, absolutely. So sometimes they tend to be more of a conflict of interest free, so to speak, and there really truly isn't always, as you know, but I won't be selling them a product. I won't be selling them life insurance, but I will certainly advise on that. Do they have the right kind, and do they have enough?
We come back from the break, we're going to test Miss Heather's process and procedures with her own mind mapping, this new technology that I've seen. It's just fantastic. We'll be right back after the break. It's not how much money you make for your clients, it's how much money they get to keep, especially in retirement. But retirement income could cause Social Security benefits to be taxed. One tax advantage alternative is life insurance designed as a non-modified endowment contract that can generate tax-free income without taxing Social Security benefits. These contracts offer differing funding options depending upon your client's risk tolerance. For more information on how life insurance can be part of your retirement planning, just email me at steve@downtobusiness.tv. Brought to you by Ash Brokerage, the practice enhancement company. Well, welcome back to our second segment. Of course, Heather's going to walk us through her process, a very proprietary process, I might say. Walk me through this. This is really, and I have to say, this is going to be so interesting for most of you advisors.
Sure. Well, like we mentioned, we are a very visual firm, so we use mind mapping with all of our clients. So when they come in, we are not using paper, and we're sitting across from them at a round table. There's a very large screen like this there, and they have their own map here. So their name and their information are going to be here. So we're very interactive, so we will take them through their map, and we will learn we spend a lot of time on family matters, this section, because we want to know what's changed in their lives since last time we sat with them. So we will go to family structure. So since this obviously is just a template, and so you'll be my female client or prospect.
Well,
and so
Steve,
so tell me about your children. I know you have many, and we don't have time for that today. So just give me a couple names, the two oldest maybe.
My two youngest will be Tim and Kate.
Tim and Kate. Okay, great. And what are their ages?
Kate's 22, Tim's 19.
Okay, great. And what is your wife's name?
Jennifer.
Jennifer, beautiful name. That's great. Now, are your parents still alive?
They're not.
They're not. Is Jennifer's parents still around?
No, they're not as well.
Okay, so there's no family care team needed at this time.
Right.
Okay. Great. So once we start spending a lot of time here, and you can tell me more about the children if we had time in that meeting, and I'd really like to dive deep into that. Do you like the in-laws? Do you like who they're married to? How many grandkids do you have? Do you have grandkids?
I do.
How many do you have?
I have 6.
He has 6 grandkids. That's great. The next step is we go into milestones. So now we truly want to get to know and think about, and I want you to explain to us so we understand what's going to happen the next year in your life. Tell me some things.
Well, the next year in my life, of course, I'm going to be still working.
Still working.
And I'm not really thinking about retirement for another 7 years or so.
Okay.
And part of my goal is I'm putting money away every day for my retirement home of my dreams.
Okay, great. And where's that going to be? Local?
Maybe Fountain Hills, because I love the mountains and the Indian reservation over there.
Wonderful.
Or maybe north of the Scottsdale area, because the homes and the deals are fantastic.
Okay, great. Now, do you have a lot of children that are still residing at home?
Well, actually, my youngest is at school, and when he comes back for spring break and so forth, he's home.
Okay, so then once he's out of school, then you'll be completely empty nesters, hopefully.
We'll see.
Yes, okay, great. So we get into that. We talk a lot more about 1 to 5 years when it comes to traveling, kids going to school, kids coming back, retirement, dream homes, everything that you just mentioned. Those are the type of things we want to understand what's coming up in your life. We'll also look at 6 to 10 years, which he's got retirement in 7 years, and we'll go out even a little further if you know the conversation takes us there. We always ask this question to our clients and prospects: is wealthy is a person who, and then they answer that. Wealthy is a person who, answer that for me.
Who has no debt.
No debt. Okay.
Big for me.
Yes, that's
and
big for
I'm a
financial.
boomer, and
Yes.
so I don't want to do debt when I'm retired.
Okay, great. That's great. And we would ask Jennifer if she was here the same question. So we would want to know that. What's wonderful about the mind mapping software and the template that we've created is we can literally link like websites to it. So we can have Zillow right to there, or if we want to put your properties. So now we can see very quickly all the different homes that you own. We can understand the fair market value on those homes. We can understand the mortgage and the terms that you're currently paying. So if we can improve in that area, we could possibly go to that area.
So you're even looking at things like that, and mortgages, maybe I can make a better deal.
Absolutely, because we need to understand the debt, and we need to understand the cash flow. We need to understand, goals. So if you're selling one of those homes, we need to understand those terms so we can illustrate it properly in our comprehensive planning projections. Here's a special interest where you might donate your special interest to you, that you donate.
I donate to not only the church I go to, but I have other nonprofit organizations that I like to see go on into perpetuity.
Sure. Now, is that with time or just financially?
Both.
Both.
Both, actually.
Okay, great. Well, we dived a lot deeper, too, in understanding what you're involved in and what your passions are in life. Sometimes a lot of, especially the baby boomers, they like to have more encore careers. So they just don't hang it up at retirement. We want to understand the passions because that might come into play in the future.
Now, most advisors watching our show right now are saying, yeah, but what does that have to do with the math and the science of the estate plan, the retirement plan, the long-term care plan?
Sure, absolutely. Well, what happens is we do start getting into that, but that's such a crucial area to spend time in, especially with the female. Issues. Yes, especially when we're talking about women in finance, we need to spend a lot of time on that because everything you just shared with me does have a financial impact. When you want to retire, when you want to make that dream house come true, when the son leaves the home and the lifestyle expenses change, when we get into the technical side on the left side of the hemisphere, the brain, the more technical side, and I start illustrating those numbers, I start showing you everything you shared with me number-wise and how that impacts yours in the future, your life in the future. That's why it makes so much more sense now, because you can see the whole picture. And women relate very well to this type of process.
I'd like to see the in-game process, the full map. What does that look like? We're only on one side.
Sure.
Oh, my goodness.
Right. So here we've got the softer side, the right hemisphere. This is where we get into what we went through with you. Here's the risk management. So we could actually link documents here. So if you have a life insurance policy, we've got them here. All your estate planning documents, your attorney, we work very well and play well in the sandbox. So we work with the attorneys, we work with your insurance advisor, we will work with your tax advisor on the planning side. We've got your taxes linked to this. Then we've got your investment side.
Everything in here all the docs are in here.
Yeah, so your entire financial picture, goals, objectives, and everything can come all together here in one template.
And this is a full picture of everything I have.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes.
Wow. This is a huge process, and this is one of the leading edge technologies that we've seen from advisors that are doing. We've had them at several of the seminars that we've been at. This is where I think the future's going in financial planning. I love your process, Heather. It's really great.
Thank you so much.
Well, that's all the time we have for today. I'm sorry to say, remember, before moving forward with any of the ideas on our show, always consult your tax advisor, legal counsel, or your broker-dealer compliance officer. Missed an episode? Just go out to our video archives. And remember, you could be wiser as an educated advisor. I'm Steve Savant. We'll see you next week.